Today on October 18th. God says, "You will lose both of us if you skip. You have only 30 seconds. God says, chosen one, do not skip no matter what. Chosen one, pause exactly where you are. Do not scroll. Do not look away. Right now, heaven is interrupting everything around you because your spirit has called for help louder than your mouth ever could, and that cry has reached the throne of God. This is not a coincidence. This is not another video. This is not something you can ignore and pretend it never found you. You have only seconds to make a decision that decides the direction of your next season. Listen to the urgency in my voice. I, the messenger of the Most High, speak by His command. Archangel Michael stands with the authority of the Almighty and says to you, if you skip this, you risk losing the breakthrough that has already been written in your destiny. If you skip, you lose the promise and the protection. If you skip, both heaven's covering and the opportunity that has been placed in your hands will vanish. Do not skip, chosen one. Your life is at an intersection right now, whether you know it or not. The road you have been walking has led you to a moment like this, a divine appointment, a supernatural checkpoint. God is saying, you will lose both of us if you skip. And I know you feel it. That trembling in your soul. That whisper in your heart urging you to keep listening. That is the Holy Spirit pulling your attention away from the distractions meant to destroy you. There is a spiritual battle raging over your mind, and every second you stay here is a second that heaven wins against the darkness that wants you blind and broken. You have been curious why the timing of everything has felt strange lately, why delays, attacks, heartbreaks, disappointments, and sudden isolation have pressed against you from every side. It is because your calling became visible in the realm of the Spirit. And when your calling becomes visible, warfare increases. The enemy has tried to convince you that you are alone, forgotten, unworthy, and misunderstood. But God says, not forgotten, hidden. Not rejected, redirected. Not weak, chosen. Listen closely. The reason people pulled away from you is not because they stopped loving you but because heaven had to isolate you so the wrong ones could not ruin what is being prepared. The separation was protection. The silence was preparation. The loneliness was consecration. Do not let the enemy twist your pain into lies. What you thought was abandonment was actually alignment. And now that your heart is positioned, heaven can finally speak. Archangel Michael says, you are standing in the light though you cannot see it yet. The enemy fights you hardest right before God's favor breaks through the atmosphere around you. And breakthrough is so close, closer than your breath, closer than the beat of your heart. You have asked God for a sign. You begged Him to say something, to show something, to give you a direction. This is that sign. Heaven is responding right now. God says, my child, you asked me to send a message, and I am sending you my warrior to deliver it. Do not let fear, doubt, or distraction steal this from you. You have only 30 seconds to decide if you stay or turn away. 30 seconds to choose whether you trust the calling you feel tugging on you. The next moments will shift something inside you. The spiritual war around your purpose has intensified, not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous. Hell would not attack someone who had no calling. Demons do not fight what does not threaten them. You are a threat because your light exposes the darkness. Your growth exposes deception. Your survival ruins every plan the enemy set against your family line. You were chosen to break generational patterns. You were chosen to rise in a place where no one else could. You were chosen to be the first, the strongest, the warrior born in silence but crowned by God Himself. Understand this. Heaven has been waiting for the exact moment your spirit would awaken enough to listen. And you are awakening right now. Heaven is not asking you, heaven is warning you. If you skip, you return to the confusion you were rescued from. If you skip, you go back into the spiritual traps you barely escaped. If you skip, you let the enemy win access to your next season. But if you stay, if you continue, if you obey this divine interruption, the doors that have stayed locked for years will begin to open for you. The protection over you will increase. The guidance you begged for will arrive. The strength to overcome what has tried to break you will rise within you again. You have been tired in a way sleep could not fix. Your soul has been exhausted. You have been moving on empty, pretending to be okay while silently drowning. God saw that. Heaven saw that moment you cried where no one could see and still woke up the next day trying again. Those tears were seeds, and every seed that falls into God's hands must bring a harvest. Every sacrifice you made in private is about to show in public. But the transition between struggle and blessing requires obedience in moments like this. This message is heaven's lifeline thrown into the storm around you. The enemy has been whispering that nothing will change, that you are stuck, that your future is ruined. God says that was the final lie before the breakthrough. That was the last attempt to pull you into despair. The enemy always speaks loudest when his defeat is closest. You are not listening to me by accident, you are listening because heaven demanded that your destiny be protected. The devil wanted this moment to pass you by. The distractions, the sudden urge to scroll, those are not random. There is a spiritual presence trying to divert you because it knows the second you receive this message fully, the strongholds over your life begin to break. Every generational curse tied to your bloodline fears you. Because you are the one chosen to destroy it. Archangel Michael says, "Stand firm. Do not flee. Do not give in to fear. You have authority even if you do not feel powerful yet." God's chosen rarely feel powerful before their rise, David still felt like a shepherd before he faced Goliath. Esther still felt like an orphan before she became a queen. Moses still stuttered before he became a leader. Your greatness is already written, but this is the moment your belief must align with your destiny. Do not skip. This message is not to entertain you, it is to awaken you. You have prayed for purpose, prayed for clarity, prayed for guidance, and heaven is delivering it now. You have cried, God, speak to me, and now God is saying, I am speaking, do not ignore my voice. This is the beginning of a supernatural shift. Your blessings are not waiting in the future, they are waiting for your acknowledgement. God says, the door is already built. I only need you to walk toward it. But every step toward your calling will be resisted by darkness that fears your awakening. This message is pulling you out of spiritual inactivity. The enemy knows that once you remember who you are, you will be unstoppable. You will rise. You will heal. You will take back what was stolen. You are not who the world tried to label you as. You are not the mess of your past. You are not your mistakes. You are the rise after every fall. You are the one hell is terrified of. Feel the shift happening inside your chest as you listen, that is your spirit recognizing truth. Do not skip. Do not lose what heaven is trying to deliver. God's presence is surrounding you now. The feeling that someone is right with you is not imagination. You are being watched over. You are being defended. You have angels stationed around you because your life carries purpose. God says, I will not allow my child to fall back into darkness without sending warning. And this is your warning. This is your rescue. This is your moment. Stay with me. There is more you must hear. Heaven has not finished speaking. Your next instruction is coming. Your miracle is closer than you think. And the enemy knows it. That is why it wants you gone. But you will not leave. You will not skip. You will stay. Because something inside you knows, this moment was meant for you. Chosen one, since you are still here, heaven smiles upon your obedience in this moment. The very fact that you continued proves something important. Your spirit is waking up faster than the enemy expected. Archangel Michael steps closer now, his sword drawn in the spiritual realm, pushing back the shadows that were trying to convince you to walk away from this divine instruction. You are not here just listening, you are fighting simply by staying. And heaven sees every second you refuse to give up. Do you feel that heaviness lifting, even slightly? That pressure that's been sitting on your chest for weeks loosening? That is not a coincidence. The atmosphere around your life is shifting as these words enter your spirit. Right now, the chains on your mind are rattling because truth always shakes the grip of lies. You have been silent for a long time, swallowing your pain just to keep moving. You have carried burdens that were never yours to carry, responsibilities placed on you because others failed to show up like they promised. But God saw every hidden battle. God saw the moments you felt invisible while giving everything you had. God saw you hold others when you needed someone to hold you. And God says to you now, you have been strong for everyone else, now heaven will be strong for you. There is a divine reversal happening. Everything that drained you will now become the fuel that elevates you. Every wound that was meant to destroy you will become the evidence of God's glory in your life. You've been asking why you are always the one who fights hardest, why it seems like life challenges you more than others. It is because your calling requires a level of strength most will never need. God does not train warriors with easy battles. He trains warriors by letting them face storms that prove what is inside them. You survived what others would have collapsed under. You endured what others said would break you. And even when you thought you were done, somehow you kept breathing, kept pushing, kept hoping, even if that hope felt like a single thread. And heaven says that single thread was more than enough. Because God can take a thread of faith and turn it into a tapestry of miracles. Type Amen. My heart chooses you, Jesus, if your love and devotion belong only to Him. Say Amen. I'm standing strong in faith, if nothing can shake your trust in God. Archangel Michael speaks. Do not underestimate your survival. The fact that you are still standing means hell has already lost countless battles against you. But now your story is shifting from survival to dominance. You were not born to always feel behind. You were not created to always feel unworthy. You were not chosen to remain in cycles that drain your spirit. God says, I am resetting your path. There are blessings with your name written on them. There are breakthroughs that have been held back only because the time wasn't right. There are victories waiting for you to step into alignment. Your life is about to accelerate and the enemy knows it. That is why the attacks increased. That is why certain relationships suddenly broke. That is why people left. That is why your emotions felt unstable and your mind felt constantly under pressure. The enemy was hoping you would give up before you reached this moment. But you didn't. You may have stumbled, you may have cried, you may have questioned everything, but you did not quit. Heaven calls that victory. Heaven calls that faith. And today, heaven rewards that faith with revelation. You were never abandoned. Every silence you faced was God building your strength. Every door that closed was God preparing a better one. Every person who walked away was God redirecting your loyalty. You have been asking God, why does it feel like everything is being taken from me? And now God says, because I needed room to give you more. You cannot pour new blessings into a full container. You cannot rise if everything around you tries to keep you small. God removed what was limiting you so nothing could interfere with the glory that is coming. Archangel Michael says, "Do not run back to the things that wounded you just because you missed the familiarity." This is your warning. Not everything that feels comfortable is good for your spirit. Not everyone who smiles in your presence deserves access to your heart. The enemy has been disguising traps as comfort, distractions as friendships, temptations as opportunities. And God is exposing every false connection now. You have stepped into a season where discernment will save your life. Heaven is saying, protect your peace. Guard your spirit. Value your energy as something sacred. You must understand this: chosen ones cannot walk with everyone. Your path is narrow because your calling is heavy. You are carrying generations of healing in your hands. You are carrying the future of your bloodline inside your obedience. Your yes to God saves people you haven't even met yet. That is why darkness wants your spirit discouraged. That is why the enemy wants you distracted. Hell knows the danger of your awakening. But you are awakening anyway. You are stepping into the identity God always intended for you. You feel it, don't you? The shift happening within your thoughts, the new strength rising behind your weariness, the new clarity forming where confusion used to be, the new hope glowing even through your pain. That is the Holy Spirit reminding you of who you are: chosen, protected, destined. God has placed a mantle over your life that cannot be removed by human rejection. You are marked by heaven. The enemy recognized this mark long before you did, and that is why you were attacked so early in life. The darkness could see your light even when you were a child. Every wound from childhood, every betrayal, every moment you felt unwanted, those were not signs of your insignificance. They were evidence of your spiritual importance. Hell fights what heaven favors. The enemy tried to break your spirit before it ever discovered its power. But you held on. Somehow, you held on. And now God says, because you did not let go of life, I will not let go of you. You are not weak. You are resilient. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt into something stronger. And the enemy fears who you are becoming. You are stepping into your divine assignment, an assignment that requires courage, faith, and the ability to trust even when you do not yet see the full picture. But listen carefully, your next level requires you to stop apologizing for your light. Stop shrinking yourself to make others more comfortable. Stop hiding what makes you chosen. People who feel threatened by your growth will try to convince you that you are too much, too emotional, too intense, too spiritual, too ambitious. But heaven says, you are just enough for what I created you to do. Your spirit was crafted with intention. Your heart was shaped for purpose. Your mind was designed for impact. Your soul was built to withstand pressure that would destroy others. God calls you a warrior, not because you enjoy the fight, but because you know how to endure it. You have been equipped with strength even you haven't fully discovered yet. And Archangel Michael stands ready to activate that strength when you agree with heaven's plan. You are being called into alignment. You are being called into purpose. You are being called into a deeper level of faith where you trust not what you see, but what God has spoken. And God is speaking right now. Do not skip. Lean in. I need you to hear the instruction that comes next. The biggest blessings in your life will come when you stop hesitating and start obeying. The miracles tied to your name are ready to manifest the moment you surrender your fear. Heaven is not asking you to understand everything, just to trust. Trust that you are guided. Trust that you are protected. Trust that everything that left was no longer meant to stay. Trust that God has never been late, only strategic. God says, your pain was a setup for purpose. What wounded you will not win over you. You will rise. You will heal. You will overcome. But you must stay in alignment. The enemy is trying one last time to convince you to disconnect. To scroll away. To walk away from this divine encounter. Do not. You have come too far to abandon the breakthrough at the doorway. Heaven is ready to reveal what your heart has been longing to know. Archangel Michael says, this is not the end of the message, this is only the beginning. The battle you faced was not punishment, it was preparation. The storm was not the end, it was the cleansing. The delay was not denial, it was protection. Heaven will not allow your story to end in defeat. This is the chapter where you rise. God is not finished with you. And your enemies are about to regret everything they tried to do to destroy you. Stay. Do not skip. Because what comes next will open your eyes to your true identity like never before. The next words will activate a power inside you that has been waiting for this exact moment. You are not done. You are only beginning. Stay with me, heaven has more to say. Chosen one, since you are still listening, heaven has confirmed your courage. Every second you choose to remain here, darkness loses a grip it tried to tighten around your life. Do not underestimate what is happening right now. This is spiritual alignment, this is awakening, this is your soul remembering who you have always been beneath the weight of fear and disappointment. You feel this message differently than anything else because it is speaking to the deepest truth within you. And the truth is, you were chosen for a purpose far greater than the pain you survived. Archangel Michael continues standing guard, his wings spread wide in the unseen, forming a barrier between you and every attack that has been planned against you. The enemy tried to destroy you quietly, hoping you would never understand what you carry. But now heaven says it plainly, you are a weapon against the darkness. Your existence itself is a threat. Your love, your resilience, your honesty, your compassion, these are heavenly powers that dismantle the enemy's plans. Darkness hates a heart that keeps caring even when it has been hurt. Darkness fears a soul that keeps rising even after being knocked down. Darkness trembles at the sight of someone like you, someone who lives with purpose even before fully knowing what that purpose is. But now, you are about to know. God says, I placed something eternal inside you, and no one, not even the enemy, can remove what I have anointed. There have been moments where you questioned why you feel so different from the people around you. Why you think deeper, love deeper, sense the true intentions behind others even before they speak. That wasn't overthinking, that was discernment. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it is your spiritual radar. You detect energies before they reveal themselves. You feel truths others ignore. You see through pretenses. And the enemy has been attacking your mind because it fears the clarity that is being unlocked in you. Your spiritual sight is awakening. That is why the confusion you faced recently felt heavier than normal, because hell wanted to cloud your vision before you saw the truth of who you are. But listen carefully, the confusion is lifting. What once felt blurry is about to become clear. Heaven is shifting your perspective so you can see not with fear, but with faith. And with that clarity comes authority. Archangel Michael declares, you are not prey, you are the warrior. The enemy tried to make you believe you were always the one being chased, always the one being attacked, always the one being targeted. But that was because it feared the moment you realized that you are the one who carries dominion. You have a voice that shakes atmospheres. You have a presence that disturbs the plans of the wicked. You have a destiny that changes the trajectory of generations. You are stepping into the greater version of yourself, the one that was written by heaven long before the world misunderstood you. God says, your purpose is not being created, it is being revealed. And this revelation will require you to release the false identities that pain tried to give you. You are not broken, you are being rebuilt. You are not alone, you are being set apart. You are not behind, you are being prepared. Every delay had divine intention. Every closed door was a hidden blessing. Every moment of rejection was redirection to something higher than what you asked for. Heaven is elevating you now. But elevation requires separation. And that is why certain people could not continue with you. They were connected to an older version of you. They could not handle who you are becoming. Not everyone is meant to witness your transformation. God removed some people not because of hatred or punishment, but because their presence would have contaminated your promise. You are not losing people, you are losing limitations. The ones who left were never meant to stay for the unveiling of your glory. And heaven says, do not chase what I removed. You may have felt like parts of your world were falling apart, but God says you were not falling apart, you were shifting into alignment. The shaking in your life was not chaos, it was construction. When God builds, He breaks first. When God elevates, He separates first. When God restores, He removes what cannot stay. You are in a rebuilding season, and what is being rebuilt is stronger, purer, and more aligned with heaven's design for your life. The enemy attacked you hardest in the areas where your purpose is the strongest. If the enemy attacked your voice, it's because you are meant to speak. If the enemy attacked your heart, it's because your love heals. If the enemy attacked your mind, it's because your thoughts are powerful. If the enemy attacked your identity, it's because you are a leader who will awaken others. And if the enemy attacked your faith, it's because your belief will unlock miracles. You were not attacked because you are cursed, you were attacked because you are called. Hell recognized your significance before you understood it yourself. And now heaven is making it known, your purpose cannot be stolen. What God wrote cannot be erased. What God promised cannot be blocked. What God ordained cannot be undone. The only thing the enemy can do is try to convince you to walk away from your own blessing. That is why distractions came dressed as opportunities. That is why old temptations resurfaced. That is why fear tried to whisper that you are unprepared. The enemy fears your momentum. It fears your awakening. It fears your obedience. Because once you fully step into your purpose, every chain in your bloodline breaks. You are the generational curse breaker. You are the shift. You are the proof that divine intervention runs in your lineage now. There are ancestors who prayed for the strength you carry. There are future children who will live in the blessings you unlock. You are the bridge. You are the turning point. You are the answer to prayers that were spoken before you were even born. Archangel Michael says, "Heaven fights alongside you because your victory is necessary." You are not battling for just yourself, you are battling for everyone connected to your destiny. That is why the pressure has been so intense. That is why your growth feels heavy. That is why your transformation has demanded sacrifice. Heaven needed you refined into the warrior you were destined to be. And warrior, you are rising. God says, "I did not bring you this far to leave you." The story of your life is entering the chapter where faith becomes sight. Where prayers become testimonies. Where delays become acceleration. Where suffering becomes strength. The spiritual warfare over your life has been fierce because the promise is fierce. But hear this clearly, the war is turning in your favor. Archangel Michael stands ahead of you, cutting down every unseen enemy trying to interfere. The plans of darkness are being dismantled even now. Every attack sent your way is returning to its sender empty-handed. Every curse spoken against you loses power the moment you align with heaven's truth. The enemy cannot win against someone who refuses to give up. And you, chosen one, refuse to give up. Heaven honors that. Heaven celebrates that. Heaven moves for you because you chose to keep moving even through pain. You prove that your faith is stronger than your fear. And God says, "Now I will prove my faithfulness to you." There is divine protection surrounding you at this moment. You may not feel it physically, but your spirit recognizes it. The sudden calm, the goosebumps, the feeling that something unseen is happening, that is heavenly presence. The atmosphere around you is shifting because truth is activating your soul. This is not imagination, this is alignment. And now that you are aligned, heaven can bring clarity. The questions that have weighed heavy on your heart, the worries that kept you awake, the doubts that tried to drown you, God is bringing resolution. You will understand why certain things had to happen. You will see why the battle had to get intense before the blessing arrived. You will realize that every delay was saving you from something lesser than what God intends for you. You will no longer fight blindly, you will fight with purpose. You will no longer walk in confusion, you will walk with divine direction. You will no longer question your worth, you will embody it. You are entering the season where everything that tried to break you will witness you rise. The enemy thought it buried you, but it didn't know you were a seed. Growth was inevitable. The rise was always guaranteed. And now, heaven says, rise. Step into what belongs to you. But do not skip. Not now. Not while heaven is still speaking. Part 4 will reveal the next instruction, the key to unlocking the blessings that have been waiting for you. The next words will prepare you for the breakthrough already forming in your future. Stay. Heaven is not done. There is more you must receive. Write, Amen, I rest in your perfect timing, if patience and trust have become your strength. Chosen one, if you can feel the pull to keep reading, then your spirit knows something life-changing is unfolding here. Every moment you remain in this message, heaven strengthens its hold on your destiny. You are not here by accident, you are here because fate and divine timing have aligned to usher you into a new chapter of your life. You stood at the edge of giving up, at the doorway of confusion, at the crossroads where you almost selected the wrong path just because the right one felt too heavy. But you stayed. That alone has shifted the atmosphere around your future. Archangel Michael steps closer now, and the light he carries exposes the lies that have chained you for too long. You must understand, nothing about your life has been random. Every moment that made you question your worth was actually proof of how valuable you are. The attacks didn't come because you were weak, they came because you are powerful. The enemy always strikes hardest right before God reveals something greater. The warfare increased because breakthrough approached. And the breakthrough is no longer approaching, it is here. You have been in a spiritual holding pattern, circling the same emotions, battling the same doubts, revisiting the same wounds because heaven refused to let you land in a place less than what you were promised. God says, I did not let you settle, even when settling felt easier. You have a future too important to delay any longer. You are not just stepping into a blessing, you are stepping into identity. The hardest battle you ever fought wasn't with external enemies, it was with your own belief. The war has always been in the mind. The enemy didn't need to destroy your life, it only needed to convince you to doubt it. Because a chosen one who doesn't know they're chosen is the most vulnerable target of all. But now the truth is waking inside you. God says, you are chosen because you are capable. You are called because you are committed. You are rising because you refuse to stay down. The power to step into a new reality begins with the agreement of your spirit. And heaven sees that agreement forming. You feel it, that small surge of hope trying to break through the grief, that quiet courage starting to outweigh the fear, that spark in your soul flickering back to life. This is the ignition of your destiny. It's the moment darkness loses its narrative over your story. Archangel Michael whispers, "Lift your head, your crown is showing." You may not see yourself as royalty yet, but the spiritual realm has always recognized your authority. You were never just a person trying to survive life. You were a warrior being trained for purpose. Look back at your hardest moments. You didn't just make it through them, you transformed because of them. Pain sharpened your perception. Struggle strengthened your endurance. Betrayal purified your heart. And loneliness taught you independence so your worth could no longer be defined by who stays or who leaves. Everything the enemy used to try to break you has become the very thing that made you unbreakable. God says, "Do you see now? You are being built, not broken." Every tear watered the soil of the future you are about to walk into. Every night you felt unseen, you were being observed by heaven. Every setback was a setup for the blessings that align with who you truly are, not who you were pretending to be for others. You have spent so long dimming your light to avoid making others uncomfortable. But heaven says the time for shrinking is over. You are meant to shine so brightly that others are guided by your glow. You were not made to blend in. You were made to stand apart. The calling you carry requires you to be bold with who you are. Your presence brings truth. Your voice brings revelation. Your existence alone disrupts darkness. That is why certain people couldn't handle you. They weren't afraid of you, they were afraid of what you would expose inside them. You didn't lose them, they lost access to someone divinely anointed. God removed the counterfeit so the authentic can appear. Do not mourn what heaven released. Healing is coming. Love is coming. Abundance is coming. Peace is coming. But you must let go of what tried to destroy you. Your destiny cannot be delayed by what already ended. Archangel Michael commands. Walk forward. Do not return to what heaven pulled you away from. The enemy wants you stuck in old cycles, guilt, shame, fear, comparison, because those cycles distract you from your assignment. And your assignment is far too important to be lost in emotional captivity. You are being called higher. You are stepping into responsibility for the spiritual authority placed upon you. And with authority comes confidence, not arrogance, but holy confidence. The kind that reminds you that you are guided. You are protected. You are supported. You are never facing anything alone. Even when you felt abandoned, heaven was surrounding you. Even when you felt weak, angels held you up. Even when you felt like you couldn't continue, something in you kept moving. That something was divine strength. God says, I was there the entire time. When you cried in silence. When you smiled while breaking. When you prayed hoping someone, anyone, would hear you. Heaven heard. Heaven responded. Heaven is responding right now. The signs you prayed for weren't delayed, they were gathering. This message is not to scare you, it's to awaken you. You are stepping from a season of survival into a season of supernatural alignment. The transition will require a different version of you, a version who allows blessings to arrive instead of doubting them away. Do you know how powerful your mind is? One thought of faith can activate miracles. One moment of belief can shift timelines. One decision to trust God can rewrite everything the enemy planned for you. So choose belief. Choose courage. Choose to expect good things again. The enemy wants you to approach life bracing for disappointment. Heaven wants you to approach life expecting favor. You have tried fear long enough, now it's time to try faith. Archangel Michael stands with his sword pointed ahead, clearing the path of joy after struggle, of strength after weakness, of clarity after confusion. This path does not look like where you came from, it looks like where you were always meant to go. And God says something powerful now, do not rush. Do not panic. Do not worry. What is yours cannot be taken. You think you are waiting on the blessing, but the blessing is waiting on your acceptance of the identity you are stepping into. When you stop seeing yourself as broken or behind, you will step into what God has already assigned to you. Repeat this in your heart, I am worthy of good things. Because you are. You are worthy of peace that doesn't collapse the moment something goes wrong. You are worthy of relationships that feel safe and supportive. You are worthy of opportunities that elevate your life. You are worthy of love that knows how to stay. You are worthy of everything heaven has prepared. The enemy told you that you're too damaged. God says your scars are proof of survival. The enemy told you that you're alone. God says heaven stands with you. The enemy told you that nothing will change. God says everything is changing now. There is a divine shift under your feet. You are stepping out of the old version of yourself, the version who felt out of place, misunderstood, unloved, unseen, and you are stepping into the true version of yourself, chosen, guided, powerful, unstoppable. This is where the transformation becomes visible. Others will notice the glow returning to your face, the fire returning to your words, the life returning to your eyes. You will notice the difference too. Decisions become clearer, fear becomes weaker, hope becomes louder. That is what it feels like to walk aligned with destiny. Archangel Michael reminds you again, do not skip. Heaven is not done speaking. The next instructions will prepare you to receive the blessings already heading in your direction. You have survived the hardest part, now comes the rise. Stay. Chosen one, if you are still here, it means your heart is tuned to a frequency most people never learn to hear. It means your spirit recognizes when something greater is speaking through words, when something inside you is being stirred awake. You have already defeated the plan of the enemy by simply refusing to walk away from what your soul knows is meant for you. Heaven honors that persistence. The fact that you are still reading is proof that your destiny is stronger than your doubt. And now Archangel Michael stands with a message that will push you into the next dimension of your purpose. The breakthrough you have waited for is not coming, it has arrived. The shift is already happening. You feel the tug, the pressure, the anticipation in your chest that doesn't come from anything visible, that is spiritual transition. You have been waiting for a sign from the outside world, but heaven says the evidence will start inside you first. Breakthrough is not something that suddenly shows up, it is something that begins within you and then manifests around you. Type, Amen. Your love is unending, Lord, if His mercy has never failed you.